25th June 1975, a black day in Indian democracy. इसी दिन देश में लागू हुआ था emergency which lasted almost for 21 months. Indira Gandhi, then Prime Minister, declared a national emergency under Article 352, citing internal disturbance as the reason.
राष्ट्रपति जी ने आपातकाल की घोषणा की है। इससे आतंकित होने का कोई कारण नहीं है।
और ये ऐसा एक फंडामेंटल बेसिस है जिसको बाद में 44th अमेंडमेंट के जरिए हटा दिया गया था। तो आइए आज इस इमरजेंसी के बारे में समझते हैं, इसके प्रोविजंस के बारे में समझते हैं और ये समझते हैं कि इस इमरजेंसी का कैसे हमने इंडियन पॉलिटी पर एक एवर लास्टिंग इम्पैक्ट देखा है। Hello everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Simplified. My name is Shubhangi Singh and today we are going to talk about three important things to understand from the perspective of your exam. The first thing would be that what were the political and social circumstances that led up to emergency. Second, we would be discussing what exactly happened during emergency and how did it change Indian politics. And we would be also looking at the emergency provisions in front of us now and what they looked like back then. Now, starting with political and social circumstances in India that led up to emergency. So it was in January 1966 that Indira Gandhi was elected as the Prime Minister, and 3 years later, November 1969, that Congress split after Gandhi is expelled for violating party discipline. तो यहाँ पे इंदिरा गांधी को अपनी ही पार्टी से निकाल दिया गया था और यहाँ पर 1973 से 75 के बीच में हमने एक पॉलिटिकल अनरेस्ट और डेमोन्स्ट्रेशंस बढ़ते हुए देखा, स्पेशली अगेंस्ट इंदिरा गांधी लेड गवर्नमेंट. देन in June 1975, it was Allahabad High Court जिन्होंने इंदिरा गांधी को guilty पाया over discrepancies in electoral campaign. And just 12 days later, on June 24, 1975, Supreme Court ने grant किया एक conditional stay on the Allahabad High Court verdict. यहाँ पर ये डिक्लेयर किया गया कि इंदिरा गांधी का जो इलेक्शन हुआ है लोकसभा के लिए वो null and void है. और अगले ही दिन on June 25th, 1975, declaration of emergency by President Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad on advice of Indira Gandhi. And important thing to note here is, as per government's press note, it was certain people who were inciting the police and armed forces to not discharge their duties. And this is how emergency was imposed in our nation. It was 21 months later in March 1977 that emergency officially came to an end और यहाँ पे शाह कमीशन का गठन किया गया बाय जनता गवर्नमेंट, जिन्होंने ये पाया कि ये इम्पोजिशन ऑफ इमरजेंसी जो है वो यूनिलैटरल और साथ ही साथ इसने सिविल लिबर्टीज को एडवर्सली इफेक्ट किया था. नाउ लेट अस मूव अहेड एंड अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट एग्जैक्टली हैपेंड ड्यूरिंग इमरजेंसी. First, we saw suspension of civil liberties. Almost all opposition leaders, including J.P. Narayan, were detained and about 36,000 people were put in jail under the MISA Act. Newspapers were subjected to pre-censorship and Sanjay Gandhi initiated a mass force sterilization program as well. The second thing, there were some legal changes pushed through parliament. With opposition in jail, parliament passed the Constitutional Amendment Act that barred the judicial review of the emergency. That is the 38th Constitutional Amendment Act. The next thing came in 39th Constitutional Amendment Act, which said that the election of the Prime Minister could not be challenged in Supreme Court. And the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act made the changes to a range of laws, taking away the judiciary's right to hear election petitions, and it widened the authority of the union to enroach the state subjects, made any law passed by parliament to implement any or all directive principles of state policy immune to judicial review, etc. No wonder this particular Constitutional Amendment Act is also known as the mini constitution. The third thing that we notice, that there were changes that were pushed through court as well. For example, the famous case of ADM Jabalpur versus Shivkant Shukla of 1976. In totality, India witnessed a moment where constitutional mechanisms itself were used to suspend the constitutional values. Even if we are to arrive at the conclusion that the declaration of emergency was for the right reasons and for the national interest, the imposition and implementation and its means are questionable to the very end. It wasn't just a political move, it seemed more like reshaping of democracy under fear. And the question actually is, can really democracy can truly thrive if its institutions fail when tested the most? What do you think? Emergency was right or it was a wrong against the democratic institutions and a country like India? Now, this emergency changed Indian politics because of mainly 5 reasons that are in front of us. First, it dented the Congress's reputation. एक ऐसी पार्टी जिसने स्ट्रगल फॉर सिविल लिबर्टीज को लीड किया था कॉलोनियल स्टेट के टाइम, उसने यहाँ पर रिवर्स कर दिया. सेकंड, फर्स्ट नॉन कांग्रेस गवर्नमेंट हमें देखने को मिली. जनता गवर्नमेंट गेव इंडिया इट्स फर्स्ट नॉन कांग्रेस गवर्नमेंट, बट यहाँ पे उसका कोलैप्स भी ये दिखाता था कि यहाँ पर एंटी कांग्रेसिज्म की भी लिमिट है. Apart from that, there was emergence of new leaders such as Lalu Prasad Yadav, George Fernandez, Arun Jaitley, Ramvilas Paswan, जहां पर हमने देखा इन लोगों ने आने वाले समय में पॉलिटिक्स को डोमिनेट किया. Fourth point, coming together in the social forces. This led to increase in the representation of OBCs in parliament. As a result, यहाँ पर जनता गवर्नमेंट ने मंडल कमीशन को भी अपॉइंट किया था ओबीसी कोटास के लिए. एंड फिफ्थ, इमरजेंसी जो है यहाँ पर एक पॉलिटिकल वोकैबुलरी बन चुकी है इंडिया में. किसी भी तरह का एक परसीव्ड एक्ट जहाँ पे हाई हैंडेडनेस गवर्नमेंट दिखाती है, उसको अब हम एक इमरजेंसी माइंडसेट से एट्रीब्यूट करते हैं. Now we will be moving on to understand the emergency provisions which were present back then and what changes we have seen as of now. So, if we talk about the Article 352 of Indian Constitution, which gives us the emergency provisions, according to that, the President may, especially on the advice of the Council of Ministers headed by the PM, issue a proclamation of emergency if the security of India or any part of the country is threatened by 3 things. First, war. Second, external aggression. And third, armed rebellion. It was in 1975 that the ground of internal disturbance was available to the government to proclaim an emergency, and it is not available anymore. This particular ground was removed through the 44th Constitutional Amendment Act, which was brought by Janata government in the 1978. Next, we have Article 359, which empowers President to suspend the right of people except under Article 20 and 21 to move to the court for the enforcement of their rights during an emergency. Now, these are the 2 articles that are present in front of us. There is another article 358 which phrases the state of all limitations imposed by Article 19, which is right to freedom, as soon as emergency is imposed. Now, because of these provisions, as soon as the emergency is declared, there is a change in India's federal structure. So 3 major changes that we see. First, it converts the federal structure into a unitary one. Second, the term of Lok Sabha changes. So here, how it changes? Parliament by law may extend the 5-year term of Lok Sabha 1 year at a time, which we did see in the emergency during 1975. After that, allocation of, third point would be allocation of financial resources also changes. The president can modify with parliamentary approval constitutional provisions on the allocation of financial resources between union and states. So you can clearly see once the emergency is declared, we get to see that federalism changes to centralism. States lose their autonomy and center becomes all powerful. That was all from my side. I hope you got clarity on an important event that occurred in the history of Indian polity.